Got it.
Okay, Joanna, hello.
Hey, hi.
So tell me who you are. You are the CEO of what company?
Our company is Midi Health, and we are a midlife women's care company.
Midlife Women's Care Company, and you are living the midlife woman's life by being in your car and taking a meeting right now.
That is exactly right.
This is kind of perfect, actually. You just told me before we even started pressing record, I'm driving to San Francisco and I just had to pull over on the side of the road. So here we are having our Zoom.
Exactly.
Okay, Joanna, tell me what was the inspiration for starting this company? What do you guys do?
So I stopped sleeping when I was around 47. And I literally was waking up every night at 4 o'clock in the morning, unable to go back to sleep, completely frustrated, and started trying to get care. And I went to a doctor who said, well, you're depressed. You need to take antidepressants. It's like, no, I'm not depressed. I'm just not sleeping, which is making me a little crazy, but it's not that I'm depressed. And it took me a really long time to get care. And um, no one told me this could be related to menopause. I mean, I went to numerous doctors and none of them said that maybe this is related to hormone depletion and that if you try taking hormones, then maybe you would feel better.
Oh,
And
Joanna, let me tell you something. I had hormone-related headaches. I had recurring UTIs. And again, nobody told me any of this could be related to menopause. And in fact, it took a urologist reaching out over Twitter to explain to me the benefits of estrogen for ending recurring UTIs. Anyway, sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
no, forget about the fact that like painful sex happens and no one tells you that you should be trying vaginal estrogen and that could possibly change your life. No one told me that either. Um, so, and you don't really want to go to the doctor and at the end of your visit say, oh, and by the way, can you help with this? Because you have 15 minutes with them and this is not what their interest is. So basically, so you actually know Sharon Mears is my co-founder, and this became our obsession. And we just started asking everyone what they were doing about all of their menopause symptoms. And none of them were getting the right treatment. And so basically, we just decided, actually pre-COVID in January 2020, we're like, someone needs to start a company to give women access to the best medical care and access to education on this. And so that's really why we got started.
So if I am going to go on your website, what happens? What would happen is I am suddenly find myself in menopause. I'm not getting treatment from my doctors, and I'm Googling away, and I find Midi, and I say, "What is this thing? What's going to happen to me?"
So here's what's actually fun. You're going to get asked a lot of questions about your symptoms, and actually, you're going to find out that all these things that are happening to you are symptoms. You might not know that the fact that you're having vertigo or the fact that you're having anxiety attacks or the fact that, as I said, painful sex, you don't even know that's related. So we ask you a whole lot of questions. It's about 15 minutes of questions and we get to know you really well. So before you meet with one of our practitioners, we know you. We also know, by the way, super important, if you've had cancer or if you're having early menopause because of cancer. And if you are, then we can refer you to the right people who are experts in that. So then you come to our site, you come to us at a scheduled time, you have a visit with one of our nurse practitioners.
And
it's all covered
online?
It's all online. Everything is virtual. Everything is covered by insurance. So your insurance will pay for it. And if you're in network, which obviously not everyone is, but if you're on a PPO plan, we're in network with most PPO plans. And then we will start a treatment protocol with you. And for most women, it takes 2 to 3 visits before they have it nailed. Maybe they start trying a patch and the patch is not strong enough, so they need to have a stronger estrogen patch. Or maybe they're taking progesterone every day and it's not feeling great, so they need to. So we iterate with you. Our goal is to iterate with you until you feel better. And then we also have other things we can offer. We have weight loss medications that we can give to people if they are having, midlife weight issues. We do have knowledge in anxiety issues and depression if you're having midlife issues in those areas. So we've developed these care protocols for all these different symptoms, Bone health. We have a whole protocol for bone health. We can get you a DEXA scan and see how your bones are doing.
So how do you get me a DEXA scan if I go online? What happens? You
have to have one of our doctors
wherever
first.
I am.
Well, so right now we're just in California, but we'll be in all the states next year.
When is
and
next,
then we will.
When is the rollout going to be, like in New York, for example?
New York should be January.
This January.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be partnering with places that give scans and labs and stuff like that.
That's right. That's right. We partner with people for the in-person care and we do the virtual visits.
Got it. Can you also help? So for example, I've noticed I had to switch insurances recently, and all of my costs of my hormone replacement has gone up like 5-fold. So I used to be paying $30 a month for Divigel, and now it's gone up to $144. And
so, okay. So Divigel's expensive. We might say to you, do you want to continue paying that, or do you want us to figure out a replacement for it? Right? So we might say, okay, do you want to switch to a patch, which your insurance company covers, and we'll help you figure out the right way to do it.
Okay, cool. Got it. So you have solutions to these problems of pharmaceutical companies screwing us.
That's one way to look at it. Yes.
Or even like, so for example, I have hormone related migraines, and I'm on a medication called Aimovig, which again, my old insurance covered at, it was $80 a month, still a little steep. And I just got the new monthly fee and it's $636 a month. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to be on that medication anymore. I mean, these are systemic issues that we do not have to deal with, but
okay, so for that one, you should go to the Mark Cuban website. You know about that, right?
Yes, but they don't do Aimovig, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what we can do for you is figure out a replacement for that drug.
Okay, so the question I have right now are very simple. So what is the website? It's midi.com or midi?
Join Midi. It's joinmidi.com. Join Midi.
Joinmidi.com. So I'll put that in the whatever I write. It's only in California for now, but you're planning a rollout in New York, and what other cities starting in January?
We should be in 20 states by January.
20 states by January.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'll get a list of those from you later.
Yeah.
And what has been the reaction so far? Have you had some users on your site giving you feedback?
Yeah. I mean, it's very rewarding. I will tell you, I went to synagogue this year on high holidays, and women were coming up and hugging me and saying, "Oh my God, you saved my life." Like, wow. Seriously, it is really, it's such an underserved market. I mean, you know this, right? Like, you write about this, like, this is so underserved, and women don't know where to go. They are getting the wrong treatments from the wrong experts. And so they kind of give up, right? And so they give up and they kind of accept that they're not going to sleep, or they accept that they're not going to want to have sex again. Yeah. And then they find out, oh, we can fix that. We're told that we are definitely fixing marriages, not just because of the sex, but because of depression and anxiety issues. We are, people, when you get on the right treatments with the experts, you really can feel better. And I don't think women even understand that's possible.
Even when people read my book, and I have some of this information in the book, I get emails saying the same thing. And what's crazy to me is that they shouldn't have to learn from my book or from your website. We should.
Right.
And the greater issue, of course, is that medical schools are not teaching it. Doctors are not aware. Right. They're not aware on the latest studies. So for example, it took me a long time to find a gynecologist who's in my network and who literally keeps herself up on these studies by going to conferences.
Yeah.
And also she is my age. So she is a gynecologist going through the same thing I am.
Yeah.
and is just dead set on helping women. So actually, I have a question about the women that are, I don't know if you have men working for you as well, but who are the doctors that you've hired to help you with this?
Yes, we have amazing doctors. And so we have, Dr. Mindy Goldman, who's led the development of all of our protocols. She leads the survivorship clinic at UCSF. So she is for 30 years treating women with menopause symptoms who had cancer.
Oh, great.
Or who are at risk of cancer. And so she is the expert in that. And then Dr. Heather Hirsch, who led menopause at the Brigham, has joined us.
Oh,
And
nice.
she's training all of our practitioners on how to treat menopause symptoms. So we have amazing doctors. Like all of the care is led by real experts in different aspects of menopause. And then they train and supervise all the nurse practitioners who deliver the care.
And when you are, let's say I'm a patient and I'm logging on to joinmidi.com and I get an appointment with one of the doctors, is it like this? Are we talking face to face? Oh, so it's not just a telephone call. You're actually speaking to somebody who looking at you and asking you questions.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
That's really
we do video visits just like we're doing now. So it's all done on video. We have a really good conversation. The visits are a half hour, which is much longer than a doctor's office.
Wait,
right?
Half hour. That's amazing.
So we talk to you about all the different things that you're feeling, and we really get to know you and why you are having these symptoms. And then we can prescribe you the right things. If you're open to hormones or hormones are appropriate for you, we'll give you hormones. If you're not, we have a whole, basically, we work with naturopathic doctors. And so we can give you naturopathic medicines that can work for you if you don't want to take hormones or prescriptions. So we have both.
And let's say in the course of being on joinmidi.com and I am getting hormones from you and I'm getting healthcare from you, what happens in the course of that if I get a UTI or something of that nature? Can you prescribe an antibiotic for that, or do we have to go to our GYN for that?
So basic things like UTIs we can do. We don't do urgent care, and we don't do urgent care, but we can work with you and help keep you up to date on all of your other non-urgent, on your chronic conditions and things like UTIs, just not urgent.
Right. But a UTI, for example, these days you can go into any pharmacy and get a kit on the stick, and then you know whether or not you have a UTI or not. So you show that on the camera to the nurse practitioner. Got it. Okay, that's great.
Yes. Yeah.
That's tremendous.
And then we can give you, right. So once you're our patient, we can help you with all those things.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. But you'd still have to go to, I mean, I don't have a uterus anymore or a cervix, so I don't have to get a pap smear, but still women will still have to get pap smears every year. Do you partner with doctors that are in our cities to say, oh, go to this doctor for your pap smear?
So did you know that you only need pap smears every 3 to 5 years now? They no longer think you need them every year. So what we can do is we can make sure you get your mammogram, and we can get you your mammogram. We can help you get your DEXA scan if you want the DEXA scan for your bones. We can make sure. So we can do a lot of the preventive care things that you're talking about. And then you do need to go get a pap smear every three years. But the other things we can do.
Oh, there are other things. Got it. Okay. All right. I think, basically you've answered all the questions that I have, or I as a patient would want to have, and I as a journalist have. But if you have something else that you would like to add that I've forgotten to ask, please tell me anything else that you think is relevant for the people that are reading my Substack.
And I have been reading you forever. I love reading you.
Oh, thank you.
What else would be relevant? I think one thing actually we should add is that if you have an OBGYN or you have a general practitioner, right, we'll partner with them. We're not asking you to leave them. 40% of the women who come to us haven't gone to a doctor since they had a baby.
What?
Like, a lot of them have not they don't go to get annuals. They're not up to date on a lot of things.
Wow. Okay.
And so for those women, we can be, we can do some of their primary care needs, right? For the other women, they have a doctor, they have an OBGYN, they have a primary care doctor, and we partner with that primary care doctor. So we're not trying to take you away from that primary care doctor. We're just trying to give you this additional care that they might not be expert in. I mean, I can give you a few examples, right? Like, women come to us, I have the BRCA gene. My doctor says I can't take hormones. That's actually not the case, but the doctors are too nervous to give it, right? Or, my mom had cancer. I'm scared I can't go on hormones. These are very classic questions. So are hormones appropriate for me, even though my mom had cancer? Well, it depends, and we'll find out if it's appropriate for you. And did you have a mammogram, and all the right questions? definitely women are coming to us and they're divorced and they haven't had sex for a long time and they would like some help getting ready for that. We have a specialty in that, in sexual health. And that is another common one. Another one is, so sleep is huge, right? Women not sleeping with night sweats, that's a huge one. Weight loss, I think I mentioned, we do weight loss and we do weight loss meds when appropriate, and we can prescribe them for you. And that's certainly something we can do as well. So we have a whole like apothecary of things that we can do when appropriate. And the goal is to take care of all these things that really no other doctors are doing for you. I also think, actually, I don't know if you want to write about this, but this care does not make hospital systems enough money. And so the reason they don't offer it.
Oh, that's really important. Say that again. This care does not make hospitals enough money. That's why we're being neglected.
Yeah, it's not sexism. It's actually money, which actually should make you feel better, not worse. Like,
it makes
if you are a hospital, okay, but I'm just saying, like, if you're a hospital system and you have a box, I actually describe this as the box situation, which to me makes sense. Every box has to make X amount of money per hour, right? This kind of care does not pay as much money per hour as treatments do. So hospital systems will always offer more treatment rooms and less rooms for this type of care. So that's why we're never going to get it. Like, the hospital systems are never going to offer more of this because they just can't make enough money on it. And so that's why it just doesn't exist. Like, they don't hire experts in this. And OBGYNs are always going to make more money delivering babies than they're going to be doing this. So it's kind of like why there's this massive care gap for women in our age category, because it's not profitable for hospital systems to offer this.
I mean, well, that goes back to the real issues of for-profit healthcare. But again, that's not an issue we're going to solve right now today. Right. But it is just yet another nail in that coffin that I hope just dies a sad death. And I hope that our children grow up. I mean, mine are already old, but I hope that, at least my youngest goes into a world where there's not for-profit healthcare in the United States anymore.
But the nonprofit hospitals are just as bad.
No, I mean, like, I lived in France, right? I lived in France.
Yeah, that's different. Yes.
And I know what it's like to walk into a hospital or into a doctor's office, get treated perfectly, walk out without paying a bill. And,
yeah. But Deb, it's actually interesting that you say that, because actually, if you look at the numbers, because I just recently looked at them, women in France are massively underprescribed hormones also. So it's not just in the US that women are underprescribed hormones. They're more expensive here to get. So you can get your Divigel way cheaper when you go to Europe. Go stock up. You can get it at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
But I was amazed how cheap it was to buy. I tried it this summer and I was amazed. But it's very underprescribed because it's just not an area of that there's enough training. There's anywhere in the world has there been enough training on women's health.
Well, I was just thinking, as you were saying that, ding, 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 $144 a month for Divigel times a few months. That's a ticket to France. So how much was the Divigel when you went there?
Oh, like $3.
Oh, I'm going. Like, why not?
Okay. Can you say something fun in your article? Yeah. So starting next year, we are going to offer an estrogen skin cream. There is research on the fact that estrogen on your face does the same thing as your vagina. It plumps it and it takes away wrinkles and it actually makes your face look better. And no one prescribes it. And so we are going to actually have our own estrogen skin cream that we're going to offer.
Okay.
That is really does get rid of wrinkles and make people look better.
Okay, I'm going to say something crazy, but not crazy now that you've just said this to me, but I put on Divigel every morning. So I put it on my thigh. That's what you put it on. And then I have some on my hand and I put my skin cream on afterwards. And I have noticed that there is a change. That's so crazy.
So it's totally the case. I met with this hormone doctor who's like one of the world's experts in hormones. And he said that he tells women after they do the gel, he goes like this. He's like an 80-year-old doctor. He goes, and he said that's what he tells them to do, and they will look better.
So forget we're going to put Botox out of business.
So we're going to launch that next year, which I'm excited about. But it's the same thing. Doctors are not educated in hormones, and they're not educated in these things. And so, and skincare companies can't make money off of it because it's prescription and you have to talk to a doctor first. So they will never sell it because it's prescription.
Interesting. Got it. Okay. And one last question I just realized I wanted to ask you. I read recently that you guys had a massive infusion of cash. So was it hard as women founders to get money for this type of service?
You know, Sharon and I are really fortunate that we had a lot of support building this company. We're really lucky. I think it's unbelievably hard for women. I don't, and we I don't know how, I'm trying to think about how to say this to you as a reporter, but I think we had a lot of credibility in our careers over many years and people trusted us.
Right.
And so I think it was easier for us than it may have been for other people. Not that it was not a challenge to raise money, but we were really fortunate to have people who were willing to invest in us early and who have been really supportive of us.
So for those who don't know, Joanna and Sharon, why don't you give just a quick précis of who you are and what you've done before we've come to the Zoom here?
Yeah, so Sharon and I met we met in 2001. We had both just had babies and we were on maternity leave. And we were introduced as a baby date of two moms who were going to go back to work after they had children. And Sharon was a managing partner at Goldman. She actually worked at Goldman for 17 years. And at the time I was doing venture investing and I was on, so we were both on maternity leave and we became friends. Then we wrote a book together that Deb helped us with in 2008 called Getting to 50-50, which is about helping women maintain their careers after having children. And we just stayed very close friends and we always knew that we wanted to do something together. So we ended up working on this together.
And what was your venture right before this? I know that it was also sort of about healthcare, but it was healthcare for children, right?
Yeah, it was a childhood obesity company. It was a digital therapeutic to help children lose weight called Curbo.
Got it. Curbo. Okay. So that just gives people sort of an idea of your, what's the word? Is it bona fides or bona fide? How do you pronounce it?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Bona fides probably, right? I don't think it would be bona fide. That's how it's spelled, bona fides, but I bet it's bona fides.
Bona fides? Anyway,
yeah.
I'll look it up after we get off because I have only ever read it. I've never heard it.
Yeah.
Sharon, Joanna, you guys look alike. Anyway, Joanna, thank you so much for agreeing to go on the Zoom with me. You can get back on the road out of San Francisco. I really appreciate it. I'll write this up and I'm gonna press stop on the record right now and then we can have a quick talk afterwards. Okay. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Press pause.